event is being brought to you by Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance with tremendous support from our host, West Virginia Rivers Coalition and the City of Buchanan. When you do as much environmental work as April did, you get overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problems. When you add a terminal cancer diagnosis, well, she being April, decided we should have a festival. We have been telling people about the threats to our Buchanan River watershed and beyond for years. How our single source could be damaged by man-made disasters, but every day was doom and gloom. Let's have a day when we celebrate this wonderful, diverse watershed. Let's encourage people to play on the river, have great local musicians, food, vendors, exhibits from the agencies that protect the water and treat that water. We will dance and pray and honor the water. Water is the primary thing, maybe the only thing that we have in common. We all need it to survive. The supply is limited, and we must share it with all other living creatures. This year's celebration will open from Southeast Kentucky with Elaine Tanner.
Hi,
And I've got Elaine's bio, but hang on a second. I got to flip screens.
You don't have to do that.
It figures. There we go. I thought I had it up and all prepared. Elaine Tanner spent most of her life in Ohio, but she's had deep roots in Appalachia and West Virginia and Kentucky. Her Native American grandmothers traveled to the Kanawha River and settled in the coal fields of West Virginia in the 1800s. She spent summers in the Daniel Boone National Park, helped her see the way nature was supposed to be. The time spent with family in these younger formative years created a connection to the land and the people of Appalachia. Working as a career realtor gave way for opportunity to view a variety of properties and see the legacy pollution left behind as these two worlds often collide. The threats from drilling and mining actions in Southeast Kentucky. There's Pierson. Hang on. Hey, dude. All right, we've already started and I was introducing Elaine live when the phone rang. You need to go to the Zoom link to be able to log in. Yeah, it should be in your email. All right. Sorry for the interruption. Live things have interruptions. The threats from drilling and mining actions in Southeast Kentucky around water quality heated up around fracking about the same time attention was needed in Ohio and West Virginia when the pipelines started to threaten these communities. Volunteering for local community programs and honoring county appointments in planning, zoning, and soil water gave platform to organize around the many orphaned and abandoned gas wells, the 70 Class II injection wells, and the many pipelines crossing our county. The connection made for the crossing of many state lines. Speaking out publicly against these extractive industries to EPA state hearings, EPA DC agency meetings, including lobby visits, public forums, helped bring attention to the effects fracking was having on our land, air, and water, and the health of our people. As a founding director and now program director for Friends for Environmental Justice, the work will continue. These roots as threats against Earth continue. And there's some links to more information about Elaine and the things we've done in the past, but I'm going to let her take over at this point.
Well, Kevin, that was not a short bio, but I thank you. the work that we've done over the years has been challenging lately. And to start out today, I would like to welcome people to the space that I'm in here on Mill Creek, southeastern Kentucky. I am Cherokee. I'm from Cherokee. And today, I find myself on Cherokee land. Our Cherokee land, our hunting grounds all the way to the Fall River. And my ancestors, the older people, traveled that Fall River and they crossed over into the Shawnee hunting ground. Then that's when they started mining, and my people still like they looked at things different. Some went west with the trail leaders, and they, and I'm very fortunate my grandmother stayed and have begun to embrace some of my teaching and being understanding that my teachings are in shopping, way, money, and so I feel that we can bring all of those things together as we meet in the middle of those days. We look at the way that things are in the world today and how we are so interconnected by these waters, by these rivers. These rivers connect us life, and the minute we carry that life, we carry that life with us, and we protect it. So the most important thing that we can do is to continue the work that we started out to do, and the connection that we find to water is a connection that must be protected for future generations. And I look at the medicine of the native people. And sweetgrass, I have my sweetgrass, I just don't have my car to light it. So,
Elaine, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's very difficult to hear you.
okay, I'm going to bring you forward. Okay. Is that any better?
Much
Yeah, I
better.
think that's better.
Is that's better? Okay. So I'm going to talk about the sweetgrass as one of our medicine. It is a medicine kind, and sweetgrass is collected as a medicine and it earns to spread that kindness around. And it's made by 21 strands of grass. And the first 7 strands of grass represent our ancestors, the grandfathers, grandmothers, and the people that walked on these lands before, that walk with us today.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. That's not any better.
That's not better. Okay, I'm going to try. Wow. Okay, that's what I got. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm talking. I'm sorry. I'm sitting on the creek outside. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think that's a little better. I think it might be your connection. I think that's as good as we're gonna get.
All right, I'll keep talking louder, so maybe that will help. Okay, so we have the first seven strands of sweetgrass, and those 7 strands represent our ancestors. And then the next one represents what we're dealing with today and the problem that we have for taking care of that we are the ones that are responsible for what's going on in the world. And then you take it to the final 7 strands of the sweetgrass, and that's about the future. That's about generations to come. And so if we take this sweetgrass and we combine it, we are strong. We are mother, father, child. We are mother, father, creator. And together we are strong and we can accomplish anything. But with leaving you with that thought, I would like to go on a little bit into why we're here. We meet at the river. The river that April and I started to work on happens to be the Elk River. in 2014, you all probably know from West Virginia, on January 9th, the Elk River spill took place. 300,000 people's water was destroyed. And I was working with an organization, my first time in working with environmental groups, Friends of Water. And I happened to catch a message from them. And it was this woman that had contacted me from Ann in West Virginia. And she said, I see all this going on the river. I see the spill. I said, but we're in Buchanan, and this is happening here. Our water is toxic. They're doing things to our lands that they shouldn't be doing. No one's listening. No one's helping me. So I reached out to this woman, April, and we started to unite. We started to bring our issues together. And through the years, we've shared many journeys. And Kevin mentioned he's going to share some of those with you on the link. We started working with extreme energy extraction. We started learning how to organize. And we did this together. And as we walk those roads, and I'm going to call it the red road at this point, because that's the road of goodness, the road of kindness, of humility that we have found that we were on, and we stayed with it. And the journeys went from there. We would be in Kevin, along with us most often, we'd be on the Ohio River in the very beginning, talking about the issues on the river when nobody knew what was going on. They were ready to frack it all over the place. And there were pipelines that were starting to come and go underneath our rivers and threatening the water supply for 5 million people. And so we just kept uniting and we kept our voices strong on the river. Today, there are people still working on those issues on the river. The Ohio River has a petrochemical hub that must be stopped. When more people joined on the river, the pipeline kind of scattered us. I'm in northern Ohio, and I'm dealing with 50,000 fracking wells coming in from Cabot Oil. You've got the Mountain Valley Pipeline. You've got the Appalachian Pipeline. You've got all these pipelines coming at it. So they distracted us for a while, but they didn't distract us for long. We are back on this, and we are stronger today because of the things that we do, because of the things that April did, by organizing the community, by taking tours, going out there and showing people what's going on, not just talking about it, not just liking something on Facebook. We are the frontliners, and we want you to become one of those frontliners too as we continue on this journey. What I see as part of this journey is the fact that we're still doing it, the fact that we are stronger today because we have done what needed to be done, and that would get political on this, to go into a situation and make a change. We are the change, so that's what we need to do and continue to do in the future. And how these waters are gathered, I have some waters here, and it would be kind of hard to share with you, but I have some waters from a place that is very dear to me. This water is from Diamond Spring. That is in the Mohegan territory in Ohio. It was a spring that I visited every month with my mother growing up. We would go get our water there because it was clear water. And along this journey from the Great Lakes to the Ohio River, we would have there was at the spring, the natives would stop. It wasn't just one tribe, it was all tribes that stopped on that journey. So this is a very sacred place to me. And to join us here, I'm going to take the water from the creek in my back here behind me, and I'm going to join that with that water from that sacred spring. Last fall, we held a memorial for April. It was a bundle ceremony with my friend Cedar, and then we followed up the following day, and we buried that bundle with our friends. But during this bundle ceremony, people were asked to bring water, their waters that needed left. So from that gathering of water, I have very few drops, but I'm going to add that to that so that we can join these waters again to become stronger. And the next step of how I feel for us to do, and there's ways to do this. A copper vessel is wonderful. You set water in it in the evening. You wake up in the morning, and then you're going to give a little bit of that water to the Creator. And that's what we have come here to do, to bring our waters together, to celebrate the things that have been done. And I look at your city, and you aren't just talking about it, you're moving it forward with things that can work. We can have all of the problems in the world and all of the solutions, but if we don't make those solutions happen, then, or if we sit and talk about it and we don't do anything, and we don't let people know what we need to do, then nothing's going to happen. So, Kevin, I thank you because you have carried the torch and continue to. I think that the fourth year is as a Riverfest is honorable for a woman who did so much. April was fearless. The cancer that took her from us gave her this energy that she could not be stopped. And it was, what are they going to do to me? She heard me say many times, what can they do to me? Well, she never stopped. She never feared. And I know that as our ancestors and those that have gone on, look down on us, they will continue to help us, clear the path for us. Right now, we have a lot of bad energy from our ancestors coming in because the earth is being destroyed. So what we need to do is to clear the path, keep the water clean, to keep the air clean. Now, how we can do that? Y'all go out there and vote on November 3rd, I believe, and you make the changes you need. And if you can't make the changes you need to be the changes, you run for office and you take those positions, and it gives you the power of the people. So as we move forward, Pierce, you're going to do a song. If there's any questions or anything from our panel, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Kevin, have we been able to get Pierson to join us? Kevin, you're muted.
He called me and I sent him the link again, so I'm surprised he hasn't joined yet. My guess is at this point, he's downloading the Zoom app. And that might have been a problem for a lot of people today is we told them where to go register and stuff, but we didn't tell them they needed to download the Zoom app if they didn't already have it. But Julia Brady is here, and Julia was going to talk for a few minutes about the indigenous people of the area, which I wanted to do before Pierson anyhow. So Julia, you're muted, but if you're ready to join us. Julia Brady's been an educator in Upshur County for many years, and I have been told that she's probably the most knowledgeable in the area about the indigenous people of the area. So I'm going to let her explain from there.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. All right. Yes. Well, that's certainly an exaggeration, but I will accept it. I do know something about the original inhabitants of our area, the indigenous people, and it's all about the water. They were all about the water. There are very few places in our area where there were permanent encampments of indigenous people, and in those places, it was because it was a place that was near water, where fields could be watered easily. Other than that, our indigenous people walked. They walked from place to place, and they followed the river, just like that book that isn't quite accurate. But they did follow the river seasonally, and they moved to different hunting grounds. And in fact, they were able to pursue their life of choice, of necessity, for many years after the unfortunate people who lived on the other side of the mountains were, strictly because of water again. The navigable rivers did not come to our area. There was no way for them to bring people easily over the mountains, and so the white settlers stayed over on that side of the mountains for much longer time, and our people were able to migrate and pursue the life of hunting and gathering that they had always known. Of course, our best known story for our local county, for Buchanan area, is the story of Indian Camp Rock. And again, it was a tragic story, a story that ended with a massacre, a daylight massacre of every man, woman, and child as they awoke in their camp at Indian Rock after they had been probably falsely accused of stealing livestock. The wandering lifestyle led to misunderstandings, and we don't have any of our ancestral people here in our area anymore. But when they were here, they were all about the water. You found them by the water because that is life.
Thank you, Julia. So I just texted Pearson again with the link. I don't know why he hasn't joined us yet. Angie Rosser with the West Virginia Rivers, do you have any words to say?
Well, I just think it's so fitting to be honoring April in this way. You know, her influence certainly, you know, was centered in Buchanan and that community, but it reached so much further. And talking about, you know, a trailblazer and really challenging us to do better, think in aspirational ways that return us to what Julia was just talking about. Reconnecting to our intimate relationship with water and the life it brings. And, you know, we've gotten so lost along the way. It was like we just needed an April to come along and get us back on track. So we miss her dearly, as I know a lot of you do. But I feel her presence with us every day as water warriors in the community she's built. And it's wonderful to see this community continue to celebrate her and remember her in this way, and to be inspired to carry forward her legacy. So I'm just always humbled that I got to meet Pierson-Keating, and grateful for the people and the inspiration that she's brought into my life. So that's it.
Thank you, Angie. That was great, considering I just put you on the spot.
You did put me on the spot there, Kevin.
Russell Power Coalition did a proclamation last week. You have a copy there. Would you like to read it?
Sure. Thanks, Kevin. You're just ambushing everybody today.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Pearson will join us. Otherwise, we're going to end for today, I think, and we will.
Well, I think April would appreciate that. Sometimes we need to be put on the spot. The proclamation from Protect Our Water Heritage Rights Coalition was an effort that was started by all of our good friend Maury Johnson, who then drove around to make sure to get signatures on the physical copies and deliver those to people who would want to have that in remembrance and gratitude for April and the work that we are continuing to do across West Virginia into Virginia and Giles County, where I live. There's a nice image on Kevin's screen there, framed up for everyone. And now, you know, really continuing to connect that work into North Carolina, into Pennsylvania, where fracking starts, Ohio, northern West Virginia, just growing the community as much as we can, and reminding people, as April reminded us, to talk about the things we're fighting for as much as the things that we fight against. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas April Pierson-Keating devoted her life to clean water and environmental justice for her beloved West Virginia and neighboring states of Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Whereas April Pierson-Keating was a founding member and executive committee member of the Power Coalition, with our deepest gratitude for her friendship and service to the coalition, we therefore proclaim August 17th through August 22nd, 2020, April Pierson-Keating Appreciation Week across the Power Coalition region. So we're hoping through this proclamation that folks will take action over the course of this week, participating in events like this, like Riverfest. We're all living in the virtual world now, but if you can get outdoors, if you can go to those places that you love, rivers, creeks, and streams, the things that you're trying to protect, just celebrate those places and remind yourself and everyone around you what we fight for, as much as who some of our adversaries are that are trying to take some of those beautiful places away. So thanks for letting me drop in, and thanks for highlighting this proclamation that Maury put so much time into.
Well, Pierson-Keating was going to perform one of our 4 state songs and our centennial song, This Is My West Virginia, which he should certainly know because his grandmother wrote it. But for some reason, he hasn't been able to join us.
I can sing a song.
You can sing a song?
Hi, guys. Yeah. I sang it at her memorial. It's a quick river song. That's okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm Maple. I work with BXC now.
Oh, Pierson's here.
Hey, I work
Oh,
with BXC.
but while he's setting up, why don't you go ahead and do yours?
Okay. Oh, somebody's here. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyways, I know April, she from you and Kevin at the pipeline conference 3 years ago in DC, and then he applied for a job at BXC. So, but I'm in North Carolina, and we just won because of the economy too, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. But yeah, it's a big fight. We're all connected, and it's been good to go up to Virginia and go to events and be all on Facebook and everything else and be in the fight together. So it's a song about, I don't know who wrote it. River keeps on flowing. The river keeps on flowing, rolling and growing. The river keeps on flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I'll always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. That's it.
Thank you, Maple. That was beautiful. Pierson, are you ready?
Well, the first question is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I set up my microphone for better vocal quality and piano quality too. Can you hear my piano? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good news. All right.
I think your levels are good on both.
That's great. Thank you, Kevin. That's a relief because I didn't know if it would work, but it seems to be working. So first,
This whole week will be things we don't know if they will work.
Right. Right. Well, luckily, it seems to be okay, because that was one thing. You know, I woke up a bit too late because I should have given myself more time. You know, but that's kind of how it goes. You know, but anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Kevin and to and to everybody on the team of Riverfest, and also to the Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance and to the Power Group, who I can't remember the actual breakdown of that acronym at the moment, but all of the groups that are making this event possible, because it really is important. I believe it's the coalitions and the groups that are making this a reality need to exist, and the fact that they do exist, and the fact that this is happening now, and the fact that we're not going to let the pandemic or anything else get in our way is awesome. Um, and I want to thank Mr. Kevin Campbell for giving me this opportunity. It's an honor and a privilege to sing the song "This Is My West Virginia," which was written by my grandmother Iris Bell, my mother's mother, um, and to really as an ode, as an homage to the great state of West Virginia. I can't really think of a more honorable way to support my grandmother and my mother, and the legacy that line of my family is. Um, so let's see, what else can I say? My grandmother said that she dreamt this song. She was dreaming the melody and the words, and she woke up and immediately just jotted it all down as fast as she could. And that she said the words just flowed to her, totally unobstructed. And later on, she said, this is a great song here. I'd like to see if I can take it to the county or the state and make it one of the state songs of West Virginia. And she succeeded in doing that, and now it's one of the West Virginia state songs. So again, it's an honor and a privilege to perform this song for you. This is my West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Campbell, for asking me to perform that song. It really is an honor, and I can't, words cannot express how grateful I am to be able to continue the legacy that my grandmother began, and to be a part of what's going on today. It really is, as I said, so important, and I salute each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pearson. Pearson will be joining us again tomorrow afternoon for a half an hour of music. Pearson, you might want to bring the piano level down and the mic level up a little bit for that.
Sure, gotcha.
And tomorrow when I introduce you, I will use the bio that you sent me. I wasn't able to do that today because my computer kind of froze and wouldn't let me pull it up.
That's okay.
But hey, the fun of live events. Anyway, Autumn, do you have anything else?
Sure.
Do you want to tell people, did we figure out a way to draw somebody from the audience for today's door prize?
I have not been able to draw somebody's name while we're Zooming,
Okay.
but as soon as we are done, I will be able to draw a random participant from today's event, and you will be entered into, you will be chosen, someone from today's event will be chosen for a door prize. The door prizes include gift certificates to Fish Hawk Acres, Sam's Pizza, CJ Maggie's, Stone Tower Brews, and Do Re Mi. So because these are all local to Buchanan, thank you those from other states for joining us, but we will probably need to select a participant from West Virginia. So each day, those who participate will be entered into win a door prize. This week, we are also featuring a photo scavenger hunt, and the winner of the photo scavenger hunt will be awarded the April Pierson-Keating Water Warrior Award for 2020. So that'll be a very prestigious award that we hope to continue in years following. There's a youth and an adult category in the scavenger hunt, and the grand prize, in addition to being named April Pierson-Keating Water Warrior, the grand prize is an all-day kayak excursion for up to 10 people with a picnic lunch through Day Trippin' Adventures. And that will be good for an entire year. So I think they stopped running their trips after Labor Day, but you'll be able to use that to do a kayak excursion for the summer of 2021.
Wow, Autumn, did somebody donate that?
We are working with an event budget, and so we have compensated Day Trippin' Adventures for that package. Because of the pandemic, we felt it was very important to compensate all of the local businesses to help with the loss of revenue that they have encountered from the pandemic. So we were very fortunate to have a budget that we were able to work with to be able to compensate these businesses, since they have been big supporters of the Buchanan Riverfest in past events. Like I said, this is the 4th year that we have been able to hold that event. Obviously, it looks very different this year. We would normally be on the Buchanan River Walk, but in previous years, all of the businesses that we have prizes with this year, they have donated that in previous years. So we're very grateful for them and their support for Buchanan Riverfest. So this year we felt it was important to be able to compensate them for those awards. So be sure to get your scavenger hunt photos and answers in. We'll be taking those to the end of the week. Friday noon is the deadline. like I said, there's a youth category and an adult category. The winner of the adult category will receive 2 couples kayak trips that they can use on 2 separate occasions or use together and have a group of 4 for a kayak trip. And then the winner of the youth award will receive a family kayak package, all with day trip and adventures. And like I said, those can all be used next summer as well. We also have more activities each day. So this was our opening and welcome, and thank you all for joining us. Tomorrow we have a whole slew of activities. In addition to Pearson joining us again tomorrow, we'll also have yoga with Sheree of Wild Vinyasa Yoga. April was a big proponent of yoga for physical and spiritual health, and she would make sure to have yoga at every Buchanan River Fest, so we wanted to incorporate that. We also have a kids activity on the water cycle with Leah of Mom's Clean Air Force, and then Callie with the City of Buchanan will be doing story time at the Gibson Library, and I'm told that this the story she's reading also relates to the water cycle. And then on Wednesday we have a virtual water plant tour so you can learn how your drinking water is treated. And then following the tour, we'll have the city's horticulturalist, Dixie, will provide an overview of the Sustainable Gardens and Flowers Initiative in the city. And then we'll also talk a little bit about some stormwater issues and what you can do as an individual to help protect the water in your community. And then Thursday, we have a roundtable discussion with a whole group of organizations that work to protect our water, both in the Buchanan area. These include Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance, Buchanan River Watershed Association, West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection, Mom's Clean Air Force, as well as some statewide organizations and nationally, Sierra Club, the West Virginia chapter of the Sierra Club, Highlands Conservancy, and West Virginia Environmental Council. And then I believe we'll also have Upshur County Convention and Visitors Bureau to discuss how all of the water protections help with community development and increased tourism. So thank you all for joining us today. That's, wait, there's a couple more events. Yes. So I got up to Thursday. So Friday we have Riverfest Happy Hour, which will feature live music with Ime, Carrie and Michael Klein, and Seth Maynard. And that'll be at 4 o'clock. All of the other events are at noon. And then Saturday, we will close the Buchanan Riverfest. We'll announce the winner of the April Pierson-Keating Water Warrior Award, and there'll be an interfaith water blessing. Did I catch everything, Kevin?
Yes, I think you covered everything. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. And tell other interested people to get on tomorrow. I guess we'll announce today's prize winner tomorrow. That's just more practical. So have a good rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you all at noon tomorrow.
I have a quick question, if that's
Yes.
okay. Could you remind me what? Sorry, it's really early for me in the. I mean, not that early, but I'm not a morning person. What qualifies someone for the April Pierson-Keating Water Warrior Award? Could you just briefly? I know you probably already explained that, but could you do a brief recap?
The questions on the scavenger hunt and the input from the scavenger hunt hopefully are going to identify somebody that has a passion for doing this work and we're going to use it as a recruiting tools.
Great.
We need to add manpower to these organizations that a lot of them, people are aging out, and it's hard to recruit new people. So we thought by having a scavenger hunt, we're going to kind of pre-qualify people. If they want to be involved, they're going to show us. If they have an eye for what's going on out there, they're going to show us. And in future years, it will probably go to somebody that has shown those traits all year. But this year, with Riverfest becoming a virtual event at the last minute because the governor wouldn't let us have it live, we had to think outside the box. So it is our hope that in future years, the award will look the same. The qualifications to earn it will be a little more stringent. But I think this year we can get somebody involved, even if they have to get involved virtually, and keep them involved physically as the years goes on.
Beautiful. Well, once again, I'm honored that that this week is April Pierson-Keating Remembrance Week. As you might guess, every day is April Pierson-Keating Remembrance Day for me. But the fact that there's an official week that's designated to remember my mother and the passion that she had, not only the passion, but the apparent effectiveness that she had with this work is really it's really a miracle to me. And I feel so blessed. I am in the midst of pre-production for a full-length record, but I'm out here in Los Angeles, but I'm with you guys in spirit, and I'm going to do my best to be in person as often as I can. I'd like to fly out and be there more in the future.
Thank you, Pierson.
Thank you guys for having me.
Take the train. It's better for the environment.
That'll be a lot of trains. I don't think there's a single train.
You got to go north. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a single one to Chicago, and from there we would be okay if you drove down from Chicago.
Okay, I'll rent a car in Chicago. That's what I'll do. Thank you all so much.
All right, we'll see you everybody tomorrow.